Intimate conversations and green tea. Tell me your dreams, I'm trying to get to know you. Searching for sunset, sailing the seven seas. Would you come see the mountains with me in California? I'll give you everything you ask for. I'm trying to color in your passport. Don't have to worry anymore. The type of heart I won't explore. I don't need a map for love. I don't need a compass to get back to you. I'll ride 100 trains, I'll fly 100 planes. Cause when I'm with you, girl, I'm dreaming wide awake. I finally open my eyes. I wanna bring you to life. Cause when I'm with you, girl, I'm dreaming wide awake. Dreaming wide awake. I finally open my mind.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. We have made it to week 0 of college football. Football is back. The real deal happening across the pond in the college world, as well as a bunch of NFL football for the preseason finales. Week 3 today, and we got other things to bet on too. We got MLB. We got a full soccer slate as well. I'm already in the middle of sweating out a scoreless first half in Burnley and Sunderland. Already got a loss out of the way early as well. So we're up and at 'em this Saturday morning. Nate Hornung here, joined by my good friend Danny Burke. Danny, happy Saturday. How we doing, sir?
Happy Saturday to you as well. Very excited, as you alluded to already, Nate. I mean, look, we've got plenty of football. Whether or not you like preseason, there are some good storylines that are going to be out there. And most important thing, we got week 0 college football, baby. So looking at Dublin for the big game today. I know you're pumped for that one. You've been ready for that for quite some time. So it's going to be good to get that, 100% full speed action back on the gridiron. Can't wait.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I've had this one in Dublin circled since they announced it over a year ago. Little brother is a K-State alum, so I got a soft spot for the Wildcats. I'll admit I'm a Jayhawk at heart, no doubt about it. But that football team a little iffier, so we're gonna wait for basketball season for the Jayhawks. But big game going off in Ireland today, full NFL preseason, like you said, and much more. You guys are here on Afternoon Betspresso, starting your Saturdays with us here at the Betting News Network, powered by our lovely sponsors at Bet Online. You guys know the drill. Click that QR code right over there. Get some funds in your account for the big weekend of sports, because Saturdays are back, fall is back, and the real sports season is here. Danny, wild Friday night for you, or did you have a bit more of a calmer night staying in?
It was a unique combination, actually. So yesterday,
both worlds.
So I ended up going to the White Sox game, and
Nice.
one of my friends, his girlfriend, she works with them, so we were able to get some pretty good seats, which was cool, which isn't really that hard when you're going to a White Sox game in general. But getting right behind home plate, usually you can sneak up there, but it was crowded because it was Elvis night. So a lot of people there dressed up in Elvis gear. They had Elvis impersonators parachuting down from helicopters onto the field.
Okay.
And they had the concert after. But I had to leave a little bit early because then I had a friend's graduation party, graduating, from grad school, and they're getting their master. I don't know, one of those things. So, there's been so many of them for my friends at this point. I can't keep up with them. But nevertheless, so I was hopping around, had myself a pretty good Friday night. But yeah, I don't know if you happen to come across my tweet yesterday, but I was complaining about the White Sox naturally because I'm there. I'm like, I'm gonna bet them, and typically I look to fade them in any scenario. And I despise the White Sox as a Cubs fan, but I actually took a little piece of them on the money line. It was a pretty fun game. They were up 1-0. Then, it was clear, and it was kind of cool sitting so close. I'm watching Savali pitch. I'm like, man, this guy's losing his steam. You could tell by the 4th inning, and then it's the 5th inning, and he's still out there, bases loaded. I turn to my friend. Royce Lewis steps up to the plate. I was like, watch this guy hit a grand slam. First pitch, left center field, see ya. Grand slam. And then whatever, they come back. It's 4-4. Then it's ends up being 8-4. The Sox are rallying. The third base coach refused to send the player on second on 2 different singles. And it was ridiculous because you have nothing to lose in the season for the White Sox right now. And you're down by 1. You have your leadoff hitter, Mike Tauchman, at second base. It's a grounder to right, and he's holding him up at third. And it's the second time he did it. And you're down by 1 run with 1 out. It's like, what do you do? Like, what do you have to
Why?
lose?
Right.
And then it happens that whoever was up next, I forget who it was, pop fly to the third baseline. Guy catches it over his shoulder, and who's ever on third at that point was like, screw it, tries to tag at home, gets thrown out, and they end up losing like 9-7 or something. But
Yikes.
that's my small rant on a crappy team. But I just thought it was, I've never seen such a poor performance from a third base coach before. It was insane.
Yeah, that's wild, but par for the course with White Sox baseball,
Yeah.
the way things have been going the last few
Mhm.
seasons. Sticking with the Chicago sports, the Bears pulled off the impossible at Arrowhead last night on the last second touchdown pass from the new $10 million man,
That's right.
Tyson Bagent. Good for him. Got to tip the cap to him. But it's preseason football, so
I was just going to say, Nate, I mean, obviously, once again, the Bears taking victory laps, but that was pretty cool from a Bears fan perspective, but even more so because I took the Bears plus 1.5, wrote up about that.
Oh, there you go.
So I was checking the game while I was at the White Sox game. I was like, oh, come on. Like, just adding another one, like, this sucks. And then I'm taking the L back home and I'm watching. I'm like, are they actually going to get this game-winning drive? And, again, regardless if it was preseason, was just so exciting to see some of that, just a lot of that environment there, like knowing that, man, this is what, we're getting back to football. I don't care that it's Tyson Bagent out there. Like, it was just a blast to see that drive and the young Bears players going nuts. Like, obviously Kansas City doesn't care, but the Bears, it's good momentum a little bit. So that was fun.
Hey, fire up the victory lap buses. You got some things to celebrate, Chicago. As a Chiefs fan, I watched the first quarter. I think I watched till they took Mahomes out, and then that was it for me. So I saw us go up 16-0, and then melt away with the backups in the second half. So it is what it is. I checked the score later. Turned it off 16-0. Didn't really care about the result. Saw later that Chicago pulled it off. So all you can do, tip your cap to them. Good for the Bears. They need all the momentum they can get.
This. Yeah, exactly. We'll take what we can get.
Congratulations, your week 3 preseason victory. Gotta love it. Well, there is plenty of NFL action on the slate today, so let's just start there. Let's get right into it. Me and Danny have nearly every game covered between the two of us, actually, in regards to picks. One going off here at 11 a.m. Central, Baltimore and Washington. Neither of us found anything we liked there. But I see in one of these noon games in Cincinnati at Paycor Stadium, like the Colts and the Bengals. Talk to me about that one, Danny. Where are we going?
Yeah, I like over 34.5. Now, I know the numbers moved to about 35, even 35.5 in some shops, but was able to find it for just laying minus $1.22. Look, the Cincinnati defenses looked horrendous. It looks like there's no improvement whatsoever from last year. And certainly it may be different during regular season play once you actually get the consistency of the starters, but still, that doesn't mean that the backups are going to be anything, worth hanging your hat up about. And Indianapolis, on the other side, they announced that Daniel Jones is their starter, and it seems like obviously there's an uproar about it. I just feel like the Colts, for a lot of reasons, have something to, be a tad bit motivated, go out there to prove type of mentality, especially with what's going to be a disastrous season for them. So I think we're going to see a lot of push from them on the offensive side and not taking their foot off the pedal. And you're going to have some people in that quarterback room with a lot to prove. So I just think it's going to be kind of a gross, higher scoring affair here. And the Colts defensively, I mean, again, nothing impressive on that side of the ball either. Like, we're not going to expect any starters from Cincinnati, but I still think with the play calling there, they'll do enough to move the ball. So this total just seems a little bit too low. If it was at 36 in that range, I'd probably stay away, but 34 in the hook just seems a bit too low for how bad these teams have been in the preseason.
No, I mean, you said it with that Cincinnati defense. I mean, that's kind of all you need, right? It's the Cincinnati defense. Bet the over. That's something I'll be targeting probably all season long, just with the way they're going to rely on their offense to keep them in games, because I don't think the defense is going to do that. And I mean, on the Colts side, you said it. There was kind of an uproar when Daniel Jones was announced the starter, but you didn't bring this guy in to automatically be QB2, be Richardson's backup.
Right.
You brought him in for that battle. Clearly the Colts think he won that battle, think he's the way to go for week 1. And I mean, I kind of think it's the right move too, but I'm obviously not in that front office watching those guys every day. But we'll see what happens with Daniel Jones leading the Colts offense this season. Regardless, week 3, Cincinnati and Indianapolis over 34.5 from Mr. Danny Burke. Sticking with the noon games, actually, I've got one down in New Orleans as the Broncos take on. Oh, actually, you're on this one as well.
Yes, sir.
The Broncos taking on the Saints. Tyler Show and Spencer Rattler caught up in that QB race down in New Orleans. I don't really care which one of them starts, which one of them sees the field more. Neither of them are capable of moving the ball in my eyes. So I've got the under 40.5. We're probably not going to see most of Denver's starters either. So, but their defense is just rock solid, very, very deep as well. So I don't see the Saints moving the ball. I have no faith in this offense going forward in the regular season. Don't really see it going to start now against the Denver backups, even being at home. I see this one just being a slop fest, staying under the 40.5. But I see you do like a side in this one, at least for the first half. Talk to me about Denver.
Yeah, Broncos -2 in the hook on the first half spread. You talked about the starters, and from what I saw, it looks like you may get, a handful of the Denver starters for about 8 to 10 plays. So, realistically about 2 series there. But you factor that in with people may chuckle about this, but when you're betting, especially in football, and Nate, I know you and I have talked about this, like you're looking for that narrative, that edge in any way you can. And I mean, Sean Payton returning to the Superdome, there's a little element to it. You want to put some gas out there with a team, younger group here that's done well in the preseason, keep that confidence going a tad bit. So at the very least, I think they come out with something. And then the second half, who the hell knows once they take their starters out. And then, like you said, I mean, it doesn't matter what's happening with the quarterback battle with the Saints. I mean, this team is just a nightmare, but they will be scrapping all 4 quarters, will New Orleans, to where at that point with Denver, I mean, yeah, they may keep pushing and they're the better team, but they're just trying to get out there healthy, whereas the Saints are like, what the hell are we even doing at this point? So that's why I'm just focusing here on the first half with the Broncos. Got it under the key number of 3. So hopefully Peyton's got a little bit of mojo to kick things off.
I totally spaced thinking of Sean Payton going back to New Orleans. Even with it being preseason, you gotta lay the hammer down, right? You gotta let him know who's boss. So
that's right.
I like that. That's good. And I've got a little narrative play on the college gridiron that we'll get into later in the show as well with a new head coach out in UNLV. Little foreshadowing there. But Danny, there's this 3:00 standalone NFL preseason game on the NFL Network. Again, standalone, all eyeballs on Seattle and Green Bay at Lambeau Field. And you and I, we see it the same way. So what could go wrong for Jalen Milroe and the Seahawks? Because we both took them at +3. We like the Seahawks plus the field goal. Jalen Milroe's looked competent in the preseason as far as my eyeballs can tell. And, he's a good quarterback. I think we see a vintage performance out of him like we saw at his days at Alabama. He's going to get the keys to the offense. I'm seeing he's probably going to play most, if not all of this game for the Seahawks. So to me, that means that the Seahawks, number one, they got faith in this guy. They think he could be a legit backup to Sam Darnold. And so they want to see what can you do for a full 60 minutes, 3 quarters, however long they trot him out there. As far as Green Bay goes, Jordan Love's not going to see the field. Malik Willis is leading that offense. You can, debate on whether you got faith in him, but I like the Seahawks to pull this out. I think the +3 is a great number. If you have some more plums, go ahead and take the money line. But the catching the field goal is enough for me. Danny, what are your thoughts on Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, you look at this Packers team throughout preseason, just absolutely embarrassing performance against the Jets in that first game. And then heading into their second spot, I actually thought it was a really good betting angle because they were catching like 6 points or something against the Colts, and they end up winning that one outright. You figured they'd respond a little bit because LaFleur was visibly, upset about that lack of defense and even offensive competency in that first game. But with that being said, I mean, it's not like they look that much better. I mean, the Colts are just that bad. So yes, they pulled it out, but there's still a lot of things that need to be worked out in those backup spots for the Packers. And like you said, that's who we're going to be seeing. And a lot of those backups I don't think are all too impressive. And I think the Packers in general this year are going to be on the decline. You make a very good point about Milroe, right? They're giving him the keys. And I think for a quarterback, a young developing quarterback, knowing that you're going to get a majority, if not the entire game, is crucial, because you don't feel like you have someone breathing down your back, looking over your shoulders, like waiting for you to make a mistake. And then it's like, all right, your preseason stint is done. That's all the playing time you get. No, you have time to develop a rhythm, to get comfortable, and to let yourself just ease into it, knowing that you have a majority of this game to do what you want to do out there. You don't have to make magic happen in a small sample size like we see all the time with these quarterbacks battling for position. So I think that's going to be good for him, and really makes it an enticing approach there, catching 3 points again against the Packers team that, maybe they're cleaning things up, but realistically, LaFleur is probably just like, screw the preseason, let's get out of here. Mike McDonald probably still, is a younger coach too, going head to head with a wizard, and LaFleur wants something to prove a little bit, even though people may not think that could be a tad bit more of incentive. But I'm glad we're on the same page here. Yeah, I thought this would be more like at 2, maybe 1.5, 2, in that range. I can't believe that they're having it right now at the flat 3. So maybe we'll be proven wrong, but it just seems very, very like a very good spot here with Seattle.
Well, exactly. And, the NFL preseason, it's just a crapshoot as is. So getting this key full number, I think is, worth the play on the Seattle Seahawks. Chat, for whatever reason, we cannot see your comments on StreamYard. They are not showing up. I hopped into the Twitch and let you guys know. But appreciate you being here as always, whether you're watching us on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube, or Kick now. We appreciate you guys tuning in as always. I'll try and pop back into the Twitch chat to read your comments later. But Owen, Austin, Padge, Papa Bain, appreciate you being here, starting your Saturday morning with us as always. And as Owen alluded to, we do have early WNBA. I don't think either of these two guys on the screen have many WNBA thoughts, but you might see some coverage on that on bettingnews.com or on the other guys' socials. Danny, I didn't want to speak for you. Did you have any WNBA thoughts?
I do not, unfortunately. I leave that to the experts and then sweat it out alongside them.
100%. That's smart, Danny. You and me, we're smart in that aspect. Let the experts handle their sports. So sticking with the NFL, few more games to cover. Let's see. I've actually got one in the 6:00 NFL Network game. Jacksonville Jaguars down in Miami taking on the Dolphins. And I'm going to be honest, Chad, I don't necessarily recommend tailing this one. I'm giving you guys 4 preseason bets. This one, kind of just, it's going to be on the TV. Let's sweat something out. We're taking the Dolphins in the first half -4. Now we missed the number. All right. The Dolphins opened up as 3.5-point favorites. They're up to like 6 now. You missed the boat. All right. You missed it. And if this were a regular season, I'll be honest, I would not place this bet, but little bit of the degenerate in me coming out. Got to have something to sweat. So back to Dolphins in the first half. We are going to see Tua for a bit, and we're not going to see the Jacksonville starters. Liam Cohen has indicated that both sides of the ball are going to sit for Jacksonville. So it's going to be complete backups. And I've got little faith in the Jags offense with Trevor Lawrence. I've got even less faith in them without him. So we'll back the Dolphins to get out on the board and score early. We're going to see the starters for at least a drive, maybe 2. Even when Tua gets pulled, Quinn Ewers and Zach Wilson have proven to be able to move the ball against backups. They did that last week in their fourth quarter comeback. So again, even if Tua is out there for a drive, maybe 2, Ewers and Wilson, I trust them to lead the offense to some points early. And again, little faith in the Jaguars at all. So Miami in the first half, a little fun one, -4, -118. Again, if we're being responsible, this is the one you don't bet. This is the one you hold off on.
Just say nothing like starting off a breakdown, like saying, do not bet this pick that I'm about to give out, right?
Hey, man, we try to be realistic on this show, right?
That makes me want to hammer it even more because, in a classic betting fashion, if you have like 4 plays and you got a lot of confidence in one and normal confidence in the others, the one that's on the bottom is going to be the one that is the sweat-free winner. So
it's the way it works out. You're going to see the Dolphins up 21-0 at halftime. Right. It's going to be the easiest bet I'll give out today.
No doubt.
That's the way it goes. Look, we're here for the content, people, all right? It's data-driven, it's educational, but it is still content at the end of the day. So we got to have something to sweat out.
I love it.
All right, looking at, let's see, the Bills and the Bucks. Neither of us liked anything there.
I was
But
tempted, but couldn't find something. I wanted
okay.
to get on the Bills, but couldn't find myself doing so.
Yeah, I couldn't. Tried to dig in and couldn't really figure out who was going to actually
Mhm.
see the field, that kind of
Exactly.
thing. And
Yeah.
I don't need that many preseason bets.
Yeah. Right.
I got enough out there. But take us to San Francisco. The Chargers going out there to take on the San Francisco 49ers. And you like the Chargers as small favorites here.
Trey Lance revenge game, baby. We're talking
That's
narratives
it.
today
There
in
it is.
Arizona.
Love it.
That's all you need to hear. Come on. And we know the Chargers have been a pretty steady preseason team. The thing that's a little concerning here, Shaggy, is obviously that this is, I believe, their 4th preseason game, to where, it's that extra spot to where you're like, are they gonna really like not care toward the end? So that's my only reservation here. Outside of that, though, I still like the quarterback situation here with the Chargers, assuming a lot of it's going to be Lance. Assuming we're not going to see Heineke, but then you got DJU, the old Clemson quarterback, never going to try to pronounce his last name, but those are the guys in the mix. And then Curtis Rourke, Carter Bradley, Mac Jones for the 49. Look, Shanahan's a guy who does not give a crap about preseason. Very schematic, as we know. He's just worried about his starters who won't be playing, them staying healthy, getting ready for the regular season. They just brought over Brian Robinson, Sky Moore. They got other guys to focus on, and they'll be locked into that, or at least that's what I'm telling myself to get me here on the Chargers. Minus $1.30 on the money line. But yes, give me the Trey Lance revenge game. Chargers go out on a high note to conclude their preseason.
Let's go. Hey, Jim Harbaugh getting the job done. Trey Lance narrative, man. I love it. I'm all over that. I'm going to tail this one. I'm locking it in right now.
Let's go.
Chat, I see you guys throwing out some WNBA plays. I'm sure you can see each other's chats. I'm sure, but Go Dream from Padge, Alicia Gray PR for Austin, and Jonquel Jones rebounds as well from Padge. Sprinkle on that double-double for Alicia Gray. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Not sure what's going on with the comments here on StreamYard, but we'll figure it out regardless. You guys are here. You guys are the best for that. And we got one more preseason game where is this one? This one's in Arizona. In Arizona, the Raiders and Cardinals going head-to-head. This one, not rocket science either, people. We're taking the under 37.5. I'm just a hater all preseason long. But look, Arizona, they showed some signs of life in week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs, but that was with Kyler Murray and his offensive weapons out there. We didn't see that in week 2. Jacoby Brissett, of course, a competent quarterback in the NFL, journeyman, good enough to stay in the league this long, but we're probably going to see even less of him in this match, meaning Clayton Tune gets the keys to the offense for the Cardinals. Me of little faith in the Cardinals offense with Kyler Murray, even less with Clayton Tune. As far as the Raiders side of the ball, you're not going to see Geno. You're probably not going to see much of Aiden O'Connell. Regardless, he's had a rough preseason, 3 picks in 2 games for that guy. And then the other guy leading the Raiders offense is Cam Miller, rookie out of North Dakota State. I think he's still getting adjusted to the speed of the NFL. This was an FCS guy, not to knock on North Dakota State and the FCS because they are a powerhouse up there. But that jump from FCS to NFL has got to be a lot bigger than, a Power 4 D1 to the NFL. So I don't see either team moving the ball under 37.5. That's kind of it. That's kind of the entire cap. So that's what I got for you on that last game, and that covers pretty much every game of the NFL preseason, rather, for Saturday. Danny, we just cashed Burnley Sunderland. We had a scoreless first half, so we got a soccer winner under our belt. We love that. We're even for the day, actually a little up since both were plus money. Gotta love cashing live on stream.
Beautiful.
Now, before we get into the college football, because I know a lot of you are here for the college football, there is one more EPL match starting in 90 minutes that I'm going to get into real quick. And I hope I know he's not, our boss SPJ is not listening because he's got bigger things to do today, celebrating our man Vsauce, but he would like this bet because I'm taking his Gunners. Arsenal on the money line, and we're pairing it with the under 3.5 at plus 120. I like Arsenal to win at home. I don't think it gets out of hand. Now, I also looked at Arsenal in shutout fashion, so Arsenal and both teams to score no. It's priced about the same. I was leaning more towards the under in this match because I'm scared of Leeds getting a cheap one late 2-1, which would spoil that shutout. But Arsenal has arguably the best line in the EPL. They led the league with 14 shutouts last year, giving up less than a goal per match, 7 shutouts at home, winning 6 of those contests as well. They already have a road shutout under their belt against Man U last week. They looked rock solid defending that onslaught after their 13th minute go-ahead goal. They had to defend for 70-plus minutes, and they were successful in doing so. So Arsenal is looking to win the EPL for the first time in 2 decades. They know that entails getting 3 points at home against a real inferior opponent, for lack of a better term. Leeds just is not the same caliber as this team. Arsenal is that good at home. And so I don't think they play with their food or anything like that today. I think they handle business, get the job done. 2-0 at plus 500 is a little correct score prediction for you there. That's what we got on the EPL starting in 90 minutes, 11:30.
Can I ask you a question as a soccer novice here? So when you see a bigger favorite like that, do you often find yourself looking for another leg to parlay, or will you look at the spread or the goal line or whatever it's technically called for soccer? I mean, how do you, is that something you do frequently, I guess? Is that your approach?
I am not paying, minus 300, minus 400, whatever it is, for a team on the money lines. But if I like them enough, yes, I'll look to parlay them. Usually I don't go to a separate game. Usually I'll stay in the game. And like in this one, I kind of bumped up the total because regular totals 2 3/4, 3. So I bumped it up to 3.5, putting a couple of juicier lines together. But I am known for, parlaying both teams to score no, taking the favorite to win in shutout fashion. That's another favorite of mine. But yeah, you got to get creative because some of these soccer lines with throwing in the draw, you got that third option, and with the space between some of these teams in terms of how talented they are, you got to get creative. So yeah, I'll look to parlay. Typically I'm not going to parlay 2 separate matches together, but I'll look within the same match to do that. But typically, I'm if you've been following me for a while, you know that I love taking the under up or taking a team to do so in a shutout to get more bang for your buck. Because Arsenal money line, not paying that price, but with the under for plus money, that's definitely a go in my eyes.
Makes sense.
So, love it. Hell yeah, chat. Well, that's some EPL for you. We'll have more at bettingnews.com for tomorrow's matches as well. And look, we're excited about college football. We're excited about NFL. We're starting off our Saturdays with early morning EPL all season long. So hop on board. There's nothing better than starting your college football Saturday with an EPL winner across the pond. So sometimes it's a loser. It happens. But get the loss out of the way early. It's the way it goes. All right, Danny, I see you've got one baseball play on your card for today. Did you add any more, or is it just this one we're going with?
I got one that's a lean, and I can briefly dive into that. But let's talk about this Dodgers and Padres game, and this series for that matter. I mean, the Padres now tied up in the division, NL West coming down neck and neck between the Dodgers and the Padres. And here I've been sitting saying, the Padres are going to give them a run for their money, evidently. But, I still got complete confidence in the Dodgers. And now seeing it actually tied, do I feel a little bit weaker about that take? Maybe. But you'd still think on paper that the Dodgers are the better team. It doesn't mean I think they would maybe necessarily go further in the playoffs. But I still think they're going to find a way to get the division. But my bet obviously just happens to circulate around today's game. And, on a Saturday slate, I usually find myself with a few plays, but I didn't feel as confident in other spots, at least not yet. But I do like Tyler Glass now taking the bump for the Dodgers. The righty's been outstanding so far, 3.12 ERA. His expected ERA is at 3.27, so there's not much of a differential there. His xFIP at 3.42, very solid number, along with his batting average of balls in play, which is 232. Left on base percentage, 85%, and a high ground ball rate at 47%. Strikeout to walk ratio, league average around 13% or so. He's nearing 20%. The concern is he is walking a healthy amount of batters, over 4 per 9 innings pitched, but he seemed to kind of limit that damage a little bit as of late. And he just faced the Padres. It's always a tad wonky when you get a pitcher whose last game is against the upcoming opponent.
Yeah.
So like he just went against the Padres. It was August 17th, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk. His xFIP came out to 204 for that game. So tremendous numbers. So again, it's a little scary in those situations, seeing them back to back, but I do feel good about how great his numbers were. And I feel great about who's pitching on the other side, being Nestor Cortez. The southpaw is not the Nestor Cortez that we saw a few years back with the pinstripes out on the East Coast. I mean, he's only pitched, 23 innings, 5 starts, but his numbers are disgusting, Shaggy. I mean, 5.87 ERA, 5.55 expected ERA. His xFIP is at 5.80. Oh, not to mention his FIP is at 8.51. So you could go, well, his xFIP's lower. Yeah, but it's still almost nearing 6.
Right.
He's walking almost 6 batters per 9 innings. Very low ground ball rate, 33%. He's giving up 3.5 home runs per 9 innings pitched, which is ridiculous. I don't know if I've ever seen a number that high. And, you could keep going into it, but the dude's getting obliterated. And again, I get it. It's a small sample size, but it's getting to that point now over 20 innings pitched where it's like, this guy's an absolute liability out there. And after the Dodgers losing last night in a close one in this tight division race with Glass now taking the bump, this is a spot where the Dodgers have to make something happen here. I mean, their backs are up against the wall, and given the pitching situation, there's no reason why the Dodgers shouldn't find a way to win this one. So I laid minus $1.28. I don't hate, the first 5 angle, but obviously you're paying a lot more vig there for the money line. So you'd probably have to go spread to get any value, but I think the Dodgers should find a way to route them here. And I like them outright. So that's my one baseball play today, Shaggy.
Love it. Hey, that's all we need. Plus, we actually have a special appearance from another guy who I think has some baseball bets to share with the kids. Let's bring him up. Colby Marcio, happy Saturday, my man. How you doing?
Good. I'm glad I can segue right into the Dodger game. That's just a real smooth thing. Thank you,
It was
Danny.
just a beautiful time.
Oh,
hey,
baby.
Look, hey, those
What's
great
funny
times
right
at
now
10
is
a.m.,
the
you
sun
told
is
me.
glaring in, and I look like I'm in a cave.
I was just saying, you look a little dark down there.
Tell you right now, the sun is coming right in. I don't understand it. Whatever. I'll talk about it. We're going back
Talk
to the
about it.
Dodger game.
Oh,
Will Smith's
okay.
bases is
Oh,
plus 145 today.
Here comes
And I
the
boost-
rap song.
Phenomenal comment.
And I
It worked
boosted his
last
home
time.
run. And I boosted his home run to 6-1. That's an elite
Will's-
rating today. Has 4 bases in his last 28 at bats. Boys, take a wild guess when the last time he had a big game was outside of his 3 hits the other day. Oh, it was when he was an action star. On the road this season has a 282 batting average, 504 slugging, 917 OPS, getting to take on my favorite Yankee, Nestor Cortez.
Yep.
Kidding. Has the worst rating in the current season ratings on Batters Hyphen Box today. Poor everything. Everything that I usually rattle off, it's poor. Allowing 45% hard contact. Every pitch that he throws, I'm pretty sure Will Smith is batting over 300 against, and that is really the main reason why I'm in love with this play today. There's
So
really no other stats that jump out because Nestor surprisingly has been struggling against lefties, but he's got 5 outings or whatever. So it doesn't really matter to me. All I care about is what he throws, and Will Smith has been killing it all season as he has one of the highest batting averages in the NL this season. Yeah, we're going back to my action star who bites off more than he can chew, and then he chews it.
The man Will Smith over his bases and 6-1 boosted on the home run facing Nestor Cortez today. What else you got besides the action
I'm glad
stuff?
Padge is here. This is perfect because I don't understand what the Braves are doing. They go out, get Cookie Carrasco, they cut him, they DFA him, and then they go and get Cal Quantrill. Well, we're taking the Mets' first 5-team total over 2.5 because this is one of the best offenses over the last 3 weeks. They are one of the top offenses. Doesn't matter what category you're looking at. They have 4 elite rated hitters in the current season ratings. Sure, they scored 10-plus runs yesterday, but we're talking about Cal Quantrill, who has a 5.50 ERA this season, allowing 5 hits per game, 2.8 runs allowed, 4th worst pitcher on the day, poor everything, allowing 45% hard contact. Last 5 games, 6.55 ERA, 6.55 expected ERA, 5.29 xFIP. Hitters have a 3.10 expected batting average, 5.89 expected slugging, and a 4.06 expected WOBA. I don't remember the price. Let me check. I forgot. Nate Dogg.
That's okay.
It's
reasonable, I'm sure.
Minus 110. Minus 110.
That's very reasonable for a little first 5 total for you. So.
Oh, you want to get freaky? All right, perfect. Let's go to the Philly game where it's plus 105 for their team total, but it's at 3.5 runs.
Ooh,
Typically,
okay.
I shy away from this. However, when it's the Phillies and they're at the bank, not too concerned because this is the 4th highest rated offense on the day with 3 elite rated hitters, averaging 2.87 runs in the first 5 at home. Last 4 weeks at home, number 1 in WRC plus, WOBA, OPS, ISO, getting to take on Mitchell Parker, who gave up 6 runs to the Phillies on the road in DC on Sunday, where they cannot score any runs. The Phillies struggle tremendously on the road scoring runs. 2nd worst rating on the day in the current season ratings, Mitchell Parker is, as a poor average hitter. WOBA, ISO, hard contact, K percentage, and ground ball percentage. Oh, that's everything. Got it. Allowing 42% hard contact. On the road, he's allowing 5 hits per game, 3.7 runs. Last 5 games has a 9.97 ERA, 6.78 expected ERA, 5.17 xFIP. Hitters have a 3.54 expected batting average, 5.77 expected slugging, 3.51 expected WOBA. Yeah, I'll take the old Phil boys. My dad's name's Phil, so kind of excited for this one.
Yeah, you got to back the Phillies. Over 3.5 plus money for the first 5 team total. Sorry.
Oh, you want more? Got it.
If you got more, bring it on.
Freddie Peralta strikeouts over 6.5 at plus money. You can get that over at one book at plus money. You better hurry. It's ticking down. Averages 6.2 at home. I can live with being a little bit under. Over the last 7 games, has the 3rd highest K percentage amongst active starters today. Last 5 games, 3rd, 29%. 15 home elite rated K percentages. Average hitter matchup K percentage. Elite average hitter matchup K percentages. Trying to work that wording out. It's very wording. 15 of those at home. 6 strikeouts, 73% of the time. 7 strikeouts, 53% of the time. Giants, 7 hitters above the league K rate. 4th highest K percentage on the road overall this season. Highest K percentage over the last 2 weeks. 3rd highest over the last 3 weeks. 2nd highest in the last 4 weeks against righties. Yeah! Give me Freddie.
Freddie Peralta over 6.5 Ks plus money at one book. So make sure you
did that in 10 minutes. Perfect. I'm ready to rock and roll for my head.
Look at that guy. Colby Marcio, a man of efficiency, ladies and gentlemen. In and out, giving you guys all the baseball.
You want more? All right.
He's not done.
All right. We can take Hawaii on the money line. We can take the over in Dublin. And we're gonna
Week 0, baby. We're here. We made it back.
Hot take. I've been thinking this for years, and then I saw Cody Decker say it, and I was like, okay, it's safe to come out of the closet. Week 0 is week 1. Can we stop kidding ourselves?
I mean, I agree in terms of
what is week 0? What is it?
I don't know why they don't just call it week 1. It is. Well, it also then you get into the NFL season, and it's like week 8 college football, but it's week 6 NFL, and you're like 2 weeks off. It's a lot to keep track of. All right, it's a lot to follow. Let's just call it week 1.
It is easier to keep track if they keep it this way, because it's always a week ahead. It's college football season is always a week ahead than the NFL.
But it's 2. It's 2 weeks because
week 0. It's week 0.
Yeah, but then we're gonna get week 1 before the NFL week 1. You know what I mean?
But that's how it always is. So it's always one ahead.
But say it's October, you're like, oh, it's week 7 CFB. And you're like, oh, it's just week 6 in NFL. You can remember it that way. It's easy to remember. See, I'm stupid, so I have to use the simple context clues.
Am I thinking it's 1 behind? I don't know. I'm I'll figure that out later.
I
I'll look
think
at the
he's
calendar.
confusing himself, and Danny and I are on the same page.
Well, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm gathering as well, and I feel left out. So I want to be part of the joke, but I want to know what's going on, man. All right, Colby. Anything else? Anything else you want to share for the kids?
Huh.
Yeah, what's on the agenda for today, Colby?
Fun.
Always. Colby wakes up with fun.
Outside
Fun.
of sweating your dad's team, Phil's Phillies.
I wish it was colder so I could enjoy sitting on the couch with the breeze rolling in. That's my favorite thing of all time.
Mhm.
College football on TV, windows down, cold
Yep.
breeze rolls in. I'm like,
Yep.
ooh, I should get a sweater. Ooh.
It's still too hot for that. Still too hot.
Oh
for
yeah.
that.
I got the AC still on.
Yeah, I think like tomorrow it's supposed to drop below 80. at least
Monday's
here in
supposed to be
Kansas City.
55.
Oh, that
Jeez.
sounds scrumptious, to be honest with you.
The low is 55, but yeah, it'll be.
I'm not gonna want, I will want 55 in the middle of January, but 55 sounds gorgeous right now.
Oh my god! All right, you guys sweep your cards. All right, sweep.
Hey, you too, Colby. Thanks for popping in,
Likewise,
giving the
brother.
kids the MLB. See you later. Have a good Saturday.
See you guys.
Oh, the one and only Colby Martial. One of one. One of one. What else can I say about that guy? Nobody else like him. Danny, I actually had an MLB question before Colby came in and spit his card for you. So you mentioned Glasnow pitching back-to-back against the Padres. Now, with those division rivals, you sometimes get pitchers pitching like 3 times against the team in a
Yeah.
season. Does that change your thinking? Like that third meeting, do you really dive into maybe those first 2 starts, how they want to get that team? Do you let that impact your thinking on this third start, or is it kind of just an individual entity in itself?
I think it's imperative to at least recognize it, right? And if there's something notable, then you have to really apply that to your handicap. I mean, if a guy's just getting absolutely shelled every single time, then yeah, you're going to have to take
Right.
that into context. But if the numbers are okay or even better, then, you're probably not going too crazy about it. Like more often than not, when they're facing each other, it's spread out. So it's still been a while since they've seen this pitcher. A lot of things have happened in between. So it's a good, basis to work off of, but it certainly doesn't override my entire handicap. Now, again, this situation is different in the sense that his last outing came against his team. So that's more often than not something that I'm like, I kind of want to stay
Right.
away from it. But because Glasnow's numbers as a whole have been great, and they were very good in that last game, and just the ramifications and circumstances surrounding this game, all of that leads me to kind of neglecting that a tad bit. So I think this is just one of those unique cases where I can kind of put that to the side. But in pretty much every other situation, I'm like, you just saw this guy,
Right.
he did very well. These guys got that quick familiarity, that quick turnaround. So it obviously all matters with the context, but it's something that people should be looking out for more so. And again, it's not to say that, you shouldn't look at the numbers from say, May or June when they face each other, because if they're bad then, and hey, guess what? They're also bad from last year. And, in every start, then it's just not,
Right.
a majority of this roster's got this guy's number, but if it's like a one-off, it's not something you need to overreact about too much.
And then I guess what about the opposite thinking of, okay, this pitcher shoved 2 starts, 2 fantastic outing against this team. This third time around, do we think the players might figure him out, or is that more of he has these hitters numbers,
Yeah, again, it's a tough question because what team are we talking about, right? And let's say this scenario, for example, right, like Padres offense, capable enough to figure him out. But if, it's a mediocre to below average team, then again, still probably not as concerned about coming out of the gates the third time around. It's more than what we talked about, say the third time coming around the batting order along with that tagged in. That's when you're like, all right, how much depth is this guy going to have this third go around in the order and for games seeing them? So maybe that would be a scenario then where, again, you're probably looking at first 5 innings to where, he's good enough to get to that 6th inning, but then that's when that arm starts to slow down and the guys start to see those pitches a bit more, because over time, I mean, as bad as teams can be, these guys are still professional hitters. So they're going to come around at one point or another. But Yeah, I think this is only the second time Glasnow is going to see the Padres this season, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but in general, yeah, if you're seeing him 3 times, I mean, that's a lot, especially with 2 top teams. So it certainly should play a part if that's the case.
Fair. Well, cool. Love it, man. Love getting inside the mind of an MLB capper like yourself. Because I bet plenty of baseball. I'm definitely not as into the in-depth stats as you and Colby are. That's for sure. But it's I gotta spend my summers doing something, right?
Exactly.
But Chad, summer is almost over because fall is here. We've got week 0 picks. You've been hearing us talk about them all week long, so we're not going to spend too much time chatting about them. But we also got a new sponsorship that we'll get into in a sec as well. But looking at Farmageddon, you guys know Colby is on the over. I got a good money line on K-State at that -142. But the big one is Avery Johnson over his rushing yards. We know he can run. We've heard that he is going to throw more. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get really comfortable with his arm. So I like the guy to look to his legs to extend some drives and make some plays for the Cats this Saturday in Ireland. Not high on Iowa State's rushing defense either. One of the worst in college football last year. Didn't have much improvement the offseason. So I like Avery Johnson to run all over Iowa State today, over 45.5 rushing yards. Danny, any week 0 football from you? I know I kind of asked you the other day about this. No pressure, but I know you'd be enjoying it.
It's more going to be an in-game approach here, and I'll probably be tailing you with the Kansas State assessment that you have. I mean, again, week 0, a very interesting just slate to look for. I mean, again, it's the first game of the year where you have all off season to prepare for this game specifically, especially in the international sense. So I know we were kind of talking about this. The over is certainly enticing with these defenses kind of taking a while to get acclimated. And not to kind of, throw anything you're sweating out under the bus or make you feel that, but you said this when you first were breaking this down. You're like, man, I just feel like everybody's on Kansas State, but it's like they're the right side on paper. And now since you've said that, when everyone's talking about it, I'm just in my mind, I was like, they're going to pick Kansas State. It's just everybody's on them, and you're right. But like you said, too, it's probably going to happen exactly how you said it, to where it's going to be just a terrible sweat the whole game, leading to Iowa State just covering that 3. So hopefully that money line comes through for you, but it just comes right down to that field goal. So,
I mean,
oh man,
that's what we can hope for. Like, obviously,
Right.
I would love a sweat-free winner, no doubt about it. But overall, I'm just looking for a good football game to kick things off. Because I mean, I guess last year in Ireland, it was competitive too with Georgia Tech's big old upset. But 2 top 25 matchups. This arguably a potential Big 12 championship foreshadowing between these 2 teams. So I'm just rooting for some good football.
Yeah, it is. So again, that's like crazy. Yeah, it was the upset last year. Then the year prior, right, I was there for my alma mater, Nebraska, who blew that lead, and they were like 9-point favorites against Northwestern. So obviously this one's more of a narrow spread, but then it just scares you, where it's like, seems like everybody's on Kansas State here, to where it's like, this game scares the hell out of me. So Godspeed. That's why I'm like, maybe I just look at this total going over. But I mean, again, on paper, Kansas State should be the right side.
Right. And a wise man once told me, this is my own father actually, sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Sometimes it's better to just keep the money in your pocket. You don't need to bet everything out there. So that might be the best bet in this Iowa State K-State game. But we got you covered total, side, and player prop there. Sheffrey, I got Avery Johnson. He's my only player prop this weekend over his rushing yards. Thoughts on EJ Warner over his passing yards? I want to see what the number is. I have a feeling he's going to have to sling the ball because I expect Fresno State to be playing from behind in Lawrence against the Jayhawks. I am on the Jayhawks first half team total over 16.5. I think that offense just starts out really hot in their new stadium, looking good for all the boosters, really running up that score early. So honestly, 190 is probably a play just because he's going to have to be slinging the ball. I'm not a huge fan of his passing game because he is very interception prone. I think double-digit interceptions in all 3 seasons as a starter and not very many passing touchdowns to counteract that. So I do think 190 is probably a play, though, because, again, he should be slinging the pill just to try and keep Fresno State in that ball game. So, and, son of Kurt Warner, you gotta think he's got some sort of skill, right? So I don't know if he fixes all their problem. Lots of people were on Cyclones +3.5 and +4 from my own Papa Shag.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, ticking down. It's going to be a close game. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a new sponsor on the channel that we're going to give you the rhythm bet of the day. So let me cue up this video and I will get right into it.
This is the rhythm of my life. My life. Oh yeah. I know you wanna say it. This is the rhythm of the night. This is the rhythm of my life. This is the rhythm of my life.
All right, here we are. Let me pull us to the side and pull up this screenshot from rhythm.com, RITHMM.com, a new tool that we love here at Betting News. You can use promo code VIBES25 to get 25% off your first month at rhythm.com. Again, RITHMM.com, 2 M's, because this site is mucho magnifico. As you can see right here, they like the Sam Houston Western Kentucky under. They like it under 60.5. I actually got it at under 61.5. So tick down a little bit, but they still like it. You can see here it is labeled as one of their sharp unders, a 62% win probability according to the tools at rhythm.com. Maverick McIver making the start for Western Kentucky. He can sling it at the FCS level. We know that. He's going to take a big jump, and starting off with a Conference USA matchup against Sam Houston, who had a top 20 defense last season in terms of scoring, giving up just 20.5 points per contest. These are two teams that are going to be on top of the Conference USA. Starting off with this interconference game, I think we will see defenses come to play. I know Western Kentucky is known for their high-flying air raid attack, but Sam Houston, a team that was 9-4 to the under last season, Western Kentucky 8-6 to their under as well, and I just really like this Bearcats defense to show out and keep this one under. I looked at Western Kentucky's team total under 36.5 as well. I do think that could be a good play if you'd rather go that route. Again, high on this Bearcats defense. I'm thinking Western Kentucky is going to need to score 35 to push this game over, probably, which again I don't necessarily see them doing. So we got Sam Houston in Western Kentucky under 61.5. And that is the rhythm bet of the day. Again, use promo code VIBES25 for 25% off your first month at rhythm.com, RITHMM.com. This has been that rhythm bet of the day.
This is the rhythm of my life. My life. Oh yeah. I know you wanna say it. This is the rhythm of the night. This is the rhythm of my life. This is the rhythm of my life.
Boom. There we go, chat. Rhythm.com. Sign up with promo code VIBES25. As we always say, pay for tools, not for picks. There's plenty of free picks out there. We give you plenty of free picks at bettingnews.com, but make those smarter wagers with some tools. 25% off with that promo code. Oh, Danny, we are getting close to it, inching closer to the start of week 0. And I got one more football bet to talk about involving Idaho State, an FCS team taking on UNLV. UNLV has revamped the entire program. They had a great season last year, 10-win season for the Rebels, but now they hired Dan Mullen as their head coach, coming out of retirement, last stint at Florida from 2018 to 2021. Prior to that, he was at Mississippi State for nearly a decade, but they're bringing in this historic head coach. They got Michigan transfer Alex Orji ready to lead the offense. And to be honest with you, I initially liked the under in this game because I don't see Idaho State scoring at all. It would not surprise me if they don't put up a single point. I don't think they're going to contribute. I think UNLV is going to have to score 60 to get this game over. So I took the 65.5. Looking at it, though, I also snagged the minus 26.5, which clearly does not exist anymore. UNLV is up to, I think, 30.5 point favorites. But the Rebels, fantastic defensively. You've got Dan Mullen at head coach. This is, I don't want to say a statement game because you should beat this FCS team. You should beat them by a ton. I think Dan Mullen definitely covers this spread. No matter what it takes, he's going to leave the starters in there.
He knows the number.
Exactly. He knows the number. He knows it's moved to 30.5. So I would be comfortable laying that too. That's David versus Goliath in this matchup here. You got an FCF school in Idaho State that's not even that good on the FCS level, to be honest with you. Cody Hawkins, 8-15 as a head coach in 2 years with the Bengals. Idaho State was my little darling in the college basketball season, not so much for college football. I see it being like a 52-7, 52-10 game, whatever you want to see, having UNLV cover the number and staying under. If I had to pick one, I would maybe more confident in UNLV on the spread, even though I did book the under first. Just thinking about the narratives behind this, new head coach Dan Mullen, you're gonna do whatever it takes to cover the spread, even if that is scoring 70 on your own. So UNLV to cover. And the under, if you really want to get freaky, is the narrative play in that FCS contest. And then, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we got some MLS to talk about as well. Full card today. I got soccer early. I got football in between. I got soccer late. Danny gave you some MLB and some NFL to sweat out in between. But going to the pitch, we are taking the Philadelphia Union on the money line at home, minus 125. Plain and simple, they are just the better team. And I think we're getting a good price. I would have priced them closer to minus 150 to win this game, hosting the Chicago Fire. Philly is coming off a loss, but they're still number 2 in the Eastern Conference, just 1 point out of first place. They're facing an inferior opponent in Chicago. They're just going to get the job done at home, where they are unbeaten in 15 straight matches, winning 11 of those outright and 4 other draws. They're scoring 1.63 goals per match. They're allowing less than a goal, the only team in the MLS to be allowing less than 1 goal per match. So you've got a fantastic defense on the Philadelphia Union side, and you got the Chicago Fire, who have lost, they are unbeaten in 5 of their last matches, 3 wins as well, but they lost at home to the Union earlier in this year. I see the Union handling business here. Again, the price is enough for me to take this with in my mind, they should be closer to a $1.50. So minus 125 is a go for the Philadelphia Union. And one more, we're taking the San Jose Earthquakes plus a half. This is the same as San Jose Earthquakes double chance. So we need the San Jose Earthquakes to win, or we need a draw. Either way, we will cash our bet at minus 122. We're fading Houston. That's it. That's the cap. I could end it right there. Even though Houston is on the road, they were up 2-0 against San Jose in San Jose earlier. They melted down, allowing 3 goals in less than 15 minutes for San Jose eventually to come back and earn a point there. Houston does not have a win since July 5th. They needed an 87th minute penalty kick and a 90 plus 10 minute stoppage time goal to win that match. They're barely scoring a goal per match. They're allowing a ton. San Jose, second in the West in scoring over 1.85 goals per match. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to make Houston play at their tempo. And I don't think Houston's capable of keeping up. So I do like San Jose to win this game outright. If you've got some more plums, take them on the nice juicy money line. But the minus 122 on that double chance was enough for me. Giving myself a little bit of flowers. The double chance market has been phenomenal for me this soccer season. We are 20-7. Hitting nearly 74% of our bets in this double chance market for this 2025 soccer season. So knock on wood, hope I don't jinx myself there, but double chance market has loved us. We'll hope it does so again tonight. That's what we got on the MLS pitch. I will have scribbles for those out later at bettingnews.com for you guys to check out. Danny, that's an hour up. That's an hour down. We covered pretty much everything on the slate today. Tons of NFL preseason for you. Some week 0, some MLB, EPL, and MLS action. Chat, you guys talked amongst yourselves for the WNBA because, again, us two up here, we leave that to the experts. So you guys, you figured that out amongst yourselves. But big sports day here for all of us. Fall is back.
Can't wait. And here I am betting MLS today. I love it. You know, that's my favorite part of doing the show with you is that I find myself betting on soccer teams I didn't even know existed. So I'm pumped, baby. We got football, we got we've got everything today. Come on.
You know it. Full sports equinox for the kids today. We got you covered wherever it may be. Well, this has been your afternoon Betspresso in the AM with myself, Nate Hornung, and Danny Burke. We will not be live tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, betting news is actually going radio silent tomorrow. We will not have any streams. SPJ is up there with the All Sauce team boys celebrating V's wedding. So we got to give someone a day off. All right. We need one more lull before we really get going for football season. So no scheduled programming tomorrow, but we will be back Monday for all of your sports needs. In the meantime, follow my man, Danny Burke, at DannyBurke5. Follow myself at Shaggy_bets and check us out at bettingnews.com. Everything we got to offer for all your sports betting needs. Again, we didn't have any WNBA, but there is some out there on the site. So be sure to go check it out. And that is all we got. We got 30 minutes to kick off in Ireland, ladies and gentlemen. So go lock in those wagers and have yourself a Saturday. Danny, last chance. Any final words for the kids?
Man, let's sit back, relax, watch some football, baby. It's finally back. Cannot wait for it. And best luck to everybody out there. Hopefully your bets come through and we don't have to sweat too much, especially in that Ireland game, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's a wonderful day to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Go tell someone you love them and enjoy your weekend. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we will see you Monday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do now?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about